Joe Hunt, how we doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you very much, yeah. Do you fancy a bit of pirate radio? I was like, pirate radio? He's gone, yeah. I'm the owner of Silk City.
Up north, I started calling it niche.
You know what niche is? A nightclub?
I know.
It's not even a genre. Oh, mate, I have got a story to tell you.
Go on, tell me.
So, well, I've got my version on it, and the reason why I kind of walked away from Bassline House.
Let's talk about record labels.
My marketing manager's Calvin Harris's marketing manager.
I've seen it.
I'm not allowed to reveal this, actually.
Yo, Curtis.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Convos with Curtis. Just before we get into this episode, I checked the stats the other day and 94% of people that watch this podcast are not subscribed to the channel. So just before you get into this amazing episode with who I would class as a legend, please go and subscribe to the channel. Joe Hunt, how we doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you very much, yeah.
How's things?
Yeah, well, do you know what? They couldn't be better at the minute. So the stars are aligning and, you know, life's good. And, yeah, I definitely couldn't complain.
Good. Yeah. It's a long time you've been in this game, and I think it seems like now you're getting the fruits of your labour, finally. Not saying you haven't in the past.
Yeah.
But now it's like more doors are opening for you. You seem to be making a lot more noise now.
Well, do you know what it is? You know, every, stage of my music career, I've always been satisfied with where it's at. You know, it felt like it's every stage. It's felt like the pinnacle. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like it can't get better than this. But then you kind of see another goal, and you go for it. And sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it don't, and sometimes you don't get it at all. It just seems that it's just so 24/7 for me. I eat, sleep, and I ain't gonna say the third one, but. Literally, it's 24/7 music all the time. I'm a daytime. Got my own daytime company, which is air conditioning, and literally I'm at work, and even that, I'm just thinking music all the time, new ideas. Everything is constant all the time, and it's true what they say. Hard work pays off, doesn't it? So 100%. Consistency is the key.
Yeah. So just before we get into your backstory, and first of all, 25 years of consistency. That's hard to do.
I know it is.
That is so hard to do, to stay relevant for 25 years.
I know.
So speaking of 25 years, your 25th anniversary event is coming up.
Yeah.
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you very much, yeah.
And plug the event.
I hope that doesn't make people wonder actually how old I am. Because if it's been 25 years in the game, I'd hate to think what sort of age people are putting a stamp on me right now.
Tell them.
No. 42, he said.
42, yeah.
We'll go with that.
You look about 42.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Plug the event just before we go any further in this podcast.
So,
where is it? What's going on? Who's there?
This Saturday, when this comes out, when this goes live, this Saturday, it's my 25th anniversary at Lab 11. So I've invited a whole heap of artists, DJs, live singers, everyone that's kind of been in the game with me on this 25-year journey to this present day. And we're all going to come together and celebrate next Saturday at Lab 11. Everyone's invited, but unfortunately, these guys have got to get paid, so it's not a free event.
That's what everyone's like.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, that's next Saturday, Lab 11. It's a daytime party as well, so obviously, I'd say probably 80% of my crowd that would probably come to this particular event are going to be of somewhat, in their, 25 plus years old. So get your babysitters now if you've got kids. There's plenty of time. And, it finishes at 11 o'clock as well, so you can be home nice and early, get the kids up, take them to Mackey's, do whatever you got to do. Sweet.
I'm too young then, 25 plus. I won't get in there, will I? I've just pulled this up on my phone because I wanted to just make sure that people have got the date right. That's Saturday the 10th of August.
Saturday the 10th of August,
and there is some legendary names on this lineup.
There is, mate, yeah.
Some that I recognise. H2O.
Yes,
legendary.
Mate, yes.
Big Ange, legendary.
Yeah. Well, H2O were obviously, because obviously you're probably going to go on to it, but you got Michelle Platinum that's on there. Sadly, they've split now, her and the guy that used to do What's It Gonna Be? The track, What's It Gonna Be? Yeah, What's It Gonna Be?
Everyone knows that one.
Yeah, and then obviously it's that famous little section, isn't it? Because a lot of people don't know this, but that little section where they go, H2O, I need to
That
know
vocal was
how
all right,
you
that
feel.
was.
Get me in the booth. Well, that bit there where they sing H2O, they are the actual producers.
Oh, really?
That's H2O that's on the lineup.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know that. So every day's a school day.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have known that, to be fair.
Yeah, because that's what they do, because H2O made the platinum track.
Okay.
And that's why they say H2O, and I need to know how you feel about me.
I think I was so young, I wouldn't even have.
But
thought
everyone
about
sung
do you
it,
know what
didn't
I mean?
they?
Yeah. That's the famous part of the song.
That's the famous part of the track.
Yeah.
And it's actually the producers, and we've got them doing a hour set at the gig next
Wicked.
Saturday. This
yeah.
Saturday?
That'll be a great party then. 25 years of consistency. That's hard.
25. Do you know, I did think about it as well, because I've seen a lot, over the years. I see DJs come through, I'm like, you know what, can I swear a little bit?
Yeah, you can swear.
Shit, they're going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, shit, they're talented they're talented DJs. And then, 3-4 years later, they just drop off, And I always say, it ain't just about DJing. It's, DJing's a lot of to do with mental. You've got to be mentally prepared for what's to come. There's a lot of ups and downs, lefts and rights. You get a lot of, there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of jealousy. And if you can deal with all that and still do your job, then you'll be successful. That's my take on it, because, I've had a lot of crap over the years and still get it to this day, a lot. But if you can kind of get through it,
I think a lot of the DJ game nowadays, more so now than going back years, but it's a lot of chess moves now. Like, I feel that you've got to play the right move, because you can just maybe accept a wrong gig or do something in the wrong way, and then people no longer care about you, or I don't know. But like I was saying, 25 years to still be relevant and still selling out shows and putting on your own festivals and stuff. That's good going. That.
Yeah,
That's
it
good
is.
going.
Yeah.
Just to talk about it briefly, when I was 13, I started DJing, and I had my first few sets in Bassline clubs. I briefly spoke to you on the phone about this, but I didn't want to say too much, so we can talk about it in person.
Yeah.
And I was DJing in the likes of Premonition, Scarlet's, Moon Lounge, Hidden, Barracuda, and a few others. When I was 13, 14, and Bassline was absolutely buzzing then. Speed Garage was buzzing. And you was, even going back then, I'm going back 15 years, showing my age, you was the headline.
Yeah.
I was a backup dancer, because obviously I was just a kid trying to find a way in the club. But I had to take my dad to some of them sets with me, because they wouldn't let me in without my dad. But
13.
Yeah, 13, 14, could barely reach the decks. But the point I was making is you was always still the headline DJ.
Yeah.
And you still are now.
Yeah.
How have you done that?
Oh, do you know what? I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, the whole, being head of, headlining a lot of pretty much all the Bassline stuff was, I got spotted. I used to play a lot of underground clubs back before it all kind of took off. And I was playing at an underground club in Star City. It was, I can't remember what it's called now. It only just opened. Star City was all booming.
There was a club at Star City?
Yeah, there was like a club bar at Star City. Yeah, I know, yeah, mad. Yeah. So
we're definitely too young for that.
Yeah. So anyway, I was DJing. It was a day rave thing there, and this guy's come up to me. He's gone, "Oh, do you fancy a bit of pirate radio?" I was like, "Pirate radio?" He's gone, yeah. I'm the owner of Silk City. I want you to come and do a show. And at the time, I was listening to like Mix FM, but I kind of used to listen to Silk City, but it was a lot of garage at the time, a lot of garage, you know what I mean? Which I loved. And I was like gassed. I was like, yeah, I'll come and do it. So he's gonna, he says, come down. He says, Thursday night, I think, if I remember it, I'm sure it was a 12 till 1 in the morning set. 12 to 1 in the morning on a Thursday. It's like, all right, sound. He's gonna, I was thinking, shit, I'm gonna have to talk on the mic. So I said to my best mate at the time, who was doing a lot of underground clubs, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to I said, do you want? Because he used to say to me, yeah, I used to be an MC. I was called MCD. I was like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, he said he would come with me to this gig. So we've gone to this block of flats. Walked in this block. The front door had been kicked off. This blocks of flats.
Proper pirate radio.
Proper pirate. So we've gone into this real dark room. All you could see was like the end of the spliff lighting up. It was that dark in there. Like I was like, how many people? And he didn't know how many people. It was that dark in there. And the table that the table that the decks were on was actually the front door.
Wow! So that's what
the front door was on like crates, like milk crates. So they kicked the door off, and it was the decks were on these milk crates. Anyway, so we've gone on there, and I started DJing, and these guys were obviously for the DJ before, so they've all gone. My mate started. I was like, "Come on in, spit some bars," and he's like, I was like, "Told you couldn't MC. Told you couldn't MC." Anyway, the gaffer was kind of really pleased with what I was playing, because I was playing like speed garage and stuff like that, kind of underground stuff. And he's like, "Oh, we want you to do." I think it was a Saturday, and I called it the recovery session. So it was 2 till 4 in the afternoon. Anyway, it just went from there. It just went boom. Like I started getting mic happy. Like I couldn't get off the mic. Not MCing, but just hosting. And yeah, it just went from there. And then that's when the Bassline house scene started, because it kind of the UK garage then was coming out, and then what we did. More DJs were coming on playing the sound I was playing. It kind of the balance went like that then. Mm-hmm. And then that's why I was headlining all the things, because I kind of brought the sound through, and I was the pioneer of it all. And, you know. Yeah.
What year was that?
2000. I remember Millennium being down at, yes, it was about 2001.
Wow.
2001. And I was on there for 11 years. 11 years. And I'd never missed a show unless I was on holiday, and I hated it. Hated missing a show. We used to do Thursdays 7 till 9 vibe time, and then every Saturday 2 till 4 recovery session. Because Friday nights, believe it or not, was the new Saturday nights. People didn't go out Saturday nights; they went out Friday nights, and I think it had something to do a lot with the shifts and that people, because a lot of people are into. What do they call it when you're a chef or whatever? What do they call that industry? Catering and just working in bars and clubs. A lot of people were doing that at that time. So everyone kind of went out on a Friday rather than a Saturday. So Saturday was the recovery session for the Friday, and everyone used to tune in. It used to be wicked. You just big up, I don't know, Jack and Sarah smoking a spliff, cruising around Chelmsley Wood. Yeah. Just used to be great in in an RS Turbo. Oh, it was just, the B's and A's. It's just wicked. And it just, just went from there, really. And that's probably why I was headlining a lot of stuff, because I was kind of pioneering the sound.
Mm. Mm. So Bassline came through literally as you was coming through then?
Speed Garage.
Because Speed Garage was before Bassline, wasn't it?
Speed Garage was before Bassline. So what happened was in 2004, people started making it, and we called it Bassline House because it had house elements, but it also had Speed Garage basslines. So we called it Bassline House, and that's what we called it, Bassline House.
Who named it that?
Well, I named it Funky Basslines. Because I was using, myself personally, I was using a lot of funky house loops.
Okay.
So I called it Funky Basslines, which is where Funky Basslines comes from. But Bassline House, I think, I don't know, I couldn't really put a stamp on it and say it was me, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think it's amalgamation of everyone going, Bassline House. I don't think anyone knows who called it Bassline House, if I'm honest.
Nah. Speed Garage Bassline and 4/4.
Yeah.
And Niche, if you're from
Niche
up north, I started calling it Niche.
You know what, Niche is a nightclub.
I know.
It's not even a genre.
But it caught on, didn't it?
Yeah,
on YouTube, they was calling it Niche as a genre, but Niche was actually a club in Sheffield.
Yeah, it was actually a club in Sheffield. Yeah. When we used to put on events at Subway, as a joke, we used to Subway City, wow. Bassline Heaven. We used to actually put on the flyer DJ Niche as a DJ that's playing, just to try and pull in like pulling extra people because they thought DJ Niche was playing.
Did that guy even exist?
No, it was a joke. We used to
false
just play
advertisement joke.
Yeah, but we used to play a joke. It was just a joke. We used to laugh about it.
Yeah.
Oh, DJ Niche is playing. Really?
Did you ever get anyone ask?
No,
What time's Niche
no.
You'd have had to put a mask on and just
I
jump
know,
on and say, "Here I am."
yeah, exactly.
So let's go back to the start and where you got what made you get into music?
Well, I was kind of in a world of I don't know what I want to be, what I want to do. I was kind of working, your average Joe job. I was working at an amusement arcade, fixing amusement machines. And then I went to my mate's house, who they all had, they're all on the decks, and I was like, wow, what's all this then? They're all on mixing vinyls. I was like, oh my God, what's this? They were like, can you do it? I was like, of course I can. Can you mix? Yeah, of course I can. I've been doing it years. Like one of them, so you don't look stupid in front of everyone. And believe it or not, I pulled off a mix. I was like, oh my God. They were like, do another one. I was like, no.
That's all you're getting. Just pay for the rest.
Yeah. No, it was like, like them one-off flukes, like I'm not doing it again. But anyway, after that, I was just intrigued, and I had a moped. I used to scoot around on a little moped around Warstock. And this guy said, the guy that I was living with at the time, he said, my friend's selling a set of decks. And I said, well, I got no money. I said, but I'll swap my little scooter for these decks, like. And he was like, all right, yeah. He says, yeah, he's up for it, yeah. So I got these decks, and they weren't the greatest. But the following day, I came home, and this guy booted the bottom of my door off. I've walked through the front door, went to the back door, and his head was poking through the bottom of the door. He'd only come to rub his decks back. Can you believe
So
it?
just tried to get a free moped.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So he's got a moped and tried to rob me decks back. But yeah, I learnt on these shabby set of decks.
Can you remember what they were called? What were they?
They weren't even a brand. No.
Belt drive.
They're belt drives as well. Absolutely awful, terrible. But yeah, I just learnt on them, and no one ever taught me how to beat match. No one ever taught me how to read music. How to read records. Nothing. It was all self-taught, and yeah, no one can ever make claim to say that was me. That was because it wasn't. I totally taught myself. Yeah. So then I got the bug for it. My friend said, one of my best friends at the time, but still is my best friend. He's like, let's go uptown on a wicked club. It starts at 7 a.m. It's like 7 a.m. What's that all about then? He says, yeah, it starts at 7, finishes at like 3 in the afternoon. I was like, I need to come with you. So we've gone to this club, and I was just blown away. The music was like just next level. So at the time I was collecting like trance music, hard house, that sort of stuff. And this music in there just blew me away. And the track that really stood out for me was Birmingham Crew.
Yep.
That was obviously fresh. It was on the test press. It just freshly come out. I think it must have been 98, 99. Yeah. And I heard that. We was just at the back dancing like terrible chavs in a terrible tracksuit.
That song's so catchy. As soon as you mention it now, I can hear the
the Birmingham Crew.
And
honestly,
that will never leave your memory.
Yeah. It just gripped me. The tune just gripped me, and that was it. Then I was obsessed with this speed garage sound, and I just searched high and low for records that even had anything. Speed garage was the B-side to a UK garage record.
Yeah.
So it was never at the forefront. It was always UKG, and speed garage was on the other side. Speed garage never really took off. So it was really sought after to try and get records. But when you did get them, they were like banging, mate. They was just like amazing. But it was all about UKG back then. But like I say, from that point, I was just hooked. Loved it.
What were your record shops then? I know you've got hard to find, but what was that? Was it Tempest?
So you had Tempest. You had Free Shades Records. You had.
Was hard to find a thing then?
Hard to find was there, yeah. That's where you got a lot of your little hidden gems there. You had Dance Music Finder down in Digbeth. I worked there for a bit. That was mad. Bloody hell. That was very vague. I think I survived 2 weeks there because it was the pay wasn't very good. But you ended up just spending your whole wage that you'd worked a whole week.
You found every record that you
like,
didn't
you're
you?
just like, at the end of the week, you'd be like, okay, Sam, can I get paid? He's like, well, who's going to pay for them on the floor? And it'd be like a stack of records you've been saving all week when you've been filing for other people's. And you're like, well, I have that one. Or I have that one. So you ended up like spending your whole wages on these bloody vinyls and having to borrow the bus fare home, like with his back of records.
Well, you didn't have a ped anymore, did you? So.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't have a moped.
I used to spend hours in hard to find records when I was young. Just hours. I'd have the money for one record and I would stand there for 4 or 5 hours listening back to back to back just to pick the record that I wanted.
Yeah.
It's good times. Good times. You get the train to town, 99p baguette from Baguette World, $6.99 on a record, and that was me for the week. Tenner.
Yeah, yeah.
Good times.
I used to even go to London. Like, used to get the train down to London to Black Market Records, pick up little white label gems there. Because Nicky Black Market was the guy that used to run it. You know, he used to run it there. And little did I know until obviously years later when I met Nicky that I didn't clock that because it was Black Market Records. I didn't clock. Bloody hell, that was his record shop back then. You know what I mean? No way.
I would never have clocked that either. Until you just mentioned it.
But obviously, them kind of places eventually shut down, and places like Tempest went. There's just sad times, but you know, it's a digital world now, isn't it? It's the way it is. Unfortunately, vinyls. I mean, they still do press vinyls, but you know, people press speed garage and they're like, 50 copies available now and that. But I never get the kind of I want a copy. I'd just rather it on digital now. Yeah. You know, the classics I've got all on vinyl. You know, everything else is digital. I don't think vinyl will ever come back, personally. It's too old in the tooth to...
It's too inconvenient, I think, and cost, and it's not cost efficient. Like, I was in the era of, I think I had Stanton T60 turntables. I've still got them. And I only had about 2 years of vinyl before it all started to move to CD. And then you just realise that was easier. You're going to spend $6-7.99 on a record with probably 3 songs on, or you could just burn your own CD with 20 songs on. And then between your 2 decks, you've got 40 tracks. So it just made everything way more convenient. And for me, that's the reason that died down. And it's only the old school DJs that will fully appreciate the vinyl, and you must have some collection. I
have, to be fair. I mean, it's probably obviously I stopped collecting. I can't remember how many years ago. As soon as the CDs come about, I mean, to be fair, even when the CDs come about, we used to. I think it was a Stanton CD player. Actually, I think it cost probably £50, and I used to take
the silver one, pop up lid.
No. It used to have the drawer that come out, but it did used to have the turntable thing, and you know. But anyway, I used to carry it in a separate record bag with me, and I used to set it up next to the vinyl decks because when we used to go into the studio, we used to get the tune burnt off onto CD, and then we could play it fresh that night at the club because obviously you wouldn't have time to press it to vinyl, so we played it on these CDJs, and lo and behold, didn't realise, but that's obviously when it all started to flip. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was. I can totally appreciate the CDs and where it's gone now with the USBs and stuff. For me, it's so much better on my back. So much better on my back. Like,
a crate and a bag of them wasn't light, was there?
Well, it was one in. It was my record box in one arm and my record bag on my shoulder. Yeah. So it was like the balance, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, this is why I've got 2 slip discs at the age of 41 and a half.
43.
Yeah.
When did everyone start to know who Joe Hunt was? Because for me, obviously at my age, being a little bit younger than you, you've just been there forever at the front of that scene. So when did you first get your buzz? When did you think, I could actually do something with this? Everyone's starting to know who I am.
Silk City. Definitely Silk City, yeah. Because obviously you're on the radio, you're in people's faces, ears, every Saturday afternoon. You know, people are just like, it's mad. People just lock in. Like, obviously they weren't so much, they didn't know what it looked like, but they knew the name. Like now, social media, you can see the face, you can put the name to the face, blah blah blah. If you do a live, they can see you doing it live. They know what I look like. So a lot of people recognise me in the street now. You know what I mean? I'll be an Aldi and someone will go, all right, Joe, can I have a quick photo with you? I'm like, all right, Sam, I have to put down the bananas and the loaf of bread. And
Lighter than the record bags.
Yeah. And have a photo, but it's, like I say, back then people knew the name, but they didn't know the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was a little bit different. But yeah, that's definitely where it started, Silk City.
I definitely knew your name before your face. We'd be in like under 18s baseline raves, or whether I was DJing or whether I was just there, and people were like, oh, that's Joe Hunt. And you'd be like, is it?
Yeah.
Because no one would actually know. So pirate radio is where it all kicked off. And then were the days, really, weren't they? Like, just everyone would listen to pirate radio, or even online radio.
Yeah.
I used to do some sets in my kitchen, just online radios.
Yeah.
And back then, everyone was locking into pirate radio. You'd try and find the dial. But we lost that, really. And I think pirate radio still exists in Birmingham.
It does, yeah.
But it's very so vaguely listened to.
Yeah, there isn't that buzz about it no more, is there? Like you say, you had social media lives, come around years and years later. And it kind of died off with the whole DAB thing, killed off the FM, the pirate radio. I think a lot of the pirate radio owners kind of, their arse went a little bit and thought, oh, we're going to be washed out, blah, 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 with the DAB. Even the Silk City manager at the time, he was like, oh, don't worry, lads, we're going to go DAB. You know, we're going to get the license and go DAB. It never happened. And I don't know, I think he had this massive break between the FM waiting to get this, wait to get this DAB thing. It kind of just went and people lost interest. And I don't know, it's weird how it just washed out. But like you say, I think a lot of people grew out of that era as well. You know, like getting on your 3210s, your Nokia 3210s and texting in and going, yeah, big shout to Jim in AG.
And you could say anything on pirate radio, it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, of course, you wouldn't get locked up.
You could say whatever you wanted.
Well, obviously,
it was illegal anyway.
You always thought, the DTI are listening, which is I can't even remember what it stands for, the detection people. They used to drive around in a van, didn't they, with aerials. And obviously they had, like, I don't know, the things to tell how strong or weak the signal is. But that's how they knew. They used to drive around in a van with this aerial on the top, and they used to follow the signal. So when it got like in the red and it was like the needle was about to snap, they knew they were like close where this radio station was, and like
just looking up at a tower block.
And there you are, this beaming, of pirate radio station council block in bloody Handsworth that's like got this huge aerial on the roof. That's jackpot. We've just got to try and find which room it is now in the 100 flats.
Yeah.
But you'd
find it though. It'd be pretty easy to find. It's where the music's coming from and probably the weed smell.
yeah. But it kind of got a bit more organised as the years went on. It was very all low, very key, very secretive. They were really careful about who we told, where our studio was. The guests had to be vetted and... it was a bit more secure. I remember being we was at the back of this tyre workshop. I think they used to wrap cars. This building, we rented in the office in the back, where the gaffer was, and literally like an hour after I'd left, the next DJ didn't turn up, and me and my mate Dean, we used to do the show. He was like, "Oh, should we stay on and do a bit longer?" I was like, "No, I've got to go." Anyway, the door come off an hour later. DTI turned up, had all the equipment away. I would have gone to freaking jail.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that serious?
That's serious, yeah. Well, definitely would have been stood in front of the judge, and I would definitely have had to take the rap for the station.
Wow.
Because obviously you can't rap, can you?
No, of course you can't.
Like, if you get caught with it, it's your station, mate.
Yeah. It's your milk crate to your door.
Really?
Shit. So, Mr. Hunt, how did you set it all up? You'd be like, fuck knows.
Oh, mate, I have got a story to tell you.
Go on, tell me.
So, I don't know if you remember, obviously, when we used to promote events, there was a lot of boarding going on.
Yeah.
So remember the boards around the lampposts?
Yeah.
Kink, 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 kink. So we
still going now.
Is it still going now?
There's still a few of them around.
Way.
Not as much as there was back then, though.
No, you couldn't. That one, when you come into Erdington, you come up the off the ramp, you come up the hill, and there's a central reservation. I don't know if you know Erdington. On the left-hand side, as you're coming up there's a car wash.
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been there for years. There's that little central reservation. It used to have like 3 lampposts on it. And everyone used to plaster it like top to bottom. You literally couldn't get them on. You'd wait for someone's poster to go soggy just to get yours on, like, you know what I mean?
Stick one on top.
Honestly, it was mad. Anyway, I'm there clipping it on. And it was Bassline Heaven, the event was. But it was called Clash of the Titans or something. Anyway, I was called on the poster, Joe, in hyphens, Bad Boy Hunt. Yeah. And there was other names on there, like, I don't know, like Andre, Big Man, Amore, whatever. Anyway, this woman's got out of her car, took a photo of me, and she went, gotcha. I was like, what's that then? What's that? Anyway, next thing you know, I've had a letter come through the door. You've been summoned to court for postering, like littering, like. I was like, bloody hell. So I've gone to.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Have you done this? Yeah. God, I'll never shit myself so much. So anyway, gone.
Oh, sorry, Joe. I was just looking at him thinking.
Why?
I'll tell you after the podcast.
So I've gone.
So you've got this letter through the door. Sorry,
yeah,
Joe.
it's like, you're summoned to court. You got to appear. Blah blah. I've gone to this thing. Didn't get any representation. Anyway, it was only like, you walk in the room. It wasn't like the judge and the jury and all that. It was just like, minor court. And I stood in front of the judge, and she's gone. She said, "Yeah, so you've been brought here today because you've been caught postering. We got your address because of your reg plate, your car, and here's the evidence of you putting up the poster." There's me like that, the stapler, like that. I'm like, shit, that's definitely me. I can't even get out of this. She went, "So is your name Joe Bad Boy Hunt?" And I just burst into laughter. She said, "Can you please confirm that your name is Joe Bad Boy Hunt, please?" I was like,
You just got your phone out and said, say that again.
Honestly, I just burst into laughter. Like, "Shit, what are you laughing at?" I went, "No, that was just a thingy on the post. Like, my name's actually Joe Hunt." Like, and she was like, "Okay, cool." But I think I got a £500 fine. That was it. Yeah, but I never did it again. Anyway, I should have done it again, but that was always my excuse to get out of doing it. Like,
Yeah. I'm not getting another fine.
I'm not getting another fine. Joe Bad Boy, I can't get caught.
Yeah. While you was doing the pirate radio, are you in clubs at this point as well, or did that come afterwards?
Yeah, I was doing clubs. Yeah, but it was kind of like just like Moon Lounge was born. I started the first Bassline event in Birmingham, which was down opposite the Q Club. It was the bar on the corner. It's now an American milkshake bar. So if you come down Corporation Street, all the way down to the bottom.
Q Club.
Yeah, so if you come all the way down Corporation Street, you've got Q Club on your right, and it starts to go around a bend.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bar there, and it serves American milkshakes, like an American diner. They've turned it into. Well, that used to be called Chambers, because obviously Chambers to do with court and stuff like that. So it was a bar called Chambers, and I did the first Bassline night in there called Heaven. That's what it was called, Heaven. Used to pack it out. I mean, it only used to hold about 250, 300 in there. Probably not even that. Every Friday, packed it out. So yeah, like a lot of the stuff was started in little small bars and little small bars, not even clubs, little small bars. So we was blessed when we got places like, Hidden and then Subway and stuff like that. It was like, wow, we're actually in a club. But actually, if I think about it, I'm telling bloody lies. I'm not even telling lies. I'm getting my timelines wrong here. So obviously Premonition was a thing, wasn't it? And that was before Hidden Moon Lounge, Premonition. Yeah. That was a club, but it was mad in there, man. Like laminate floor, and it was like all moving and that, like, you know what I mean? It was all weird.
Like you was on tablets just walking in.
Yeah, it's not like people drink that many, spill that many drinks. Like the laminate had swelled in places. So it felt like you're walking on the moon. Like it was really weird in there, but That was a bit of a dodgy dive, but everyone loved it. Like everyone loved dodgy dives. You know what I mean? Back then,
I feel like it added to it, like with the pirate radio feel, with it being underground, and you don't want it in a prim and proper club.
We don't deserve to be
the
cool in nice clubs. You know what I mean? We're scruffy. We listen to speed garage and smoke spliffs. You know what I mean? Drive around in Fiestas and Cosworths and stuff. No, we don't deserve it, but. No, when we started, obviously, I ended up getting a residency in the Steering Wheel Club at the time, which was like the place to play, like. And I got a residency in there. So I kind of left. I left Premonition then to go and have a residency at Steering Wheel for a better life. And then I heard there was stabbings at Premonition. And I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. And when you look back and look at what's happened with certain things, it was the best thing that ever did was leaving Premonition because it kind of went on to better things and I had better opportunities off them opportunities. You know what I mean? Because people started to put trust into you. You know what I mean? Rather than you being in them dives.
Yeah, and then you get that stigma with your brand because that's where you're playing. People, I'm not going to book Joe. That happened where he was playing last week.
Yeah, exactly. Like now you don't even think about it, but back then you used to think I can't play that because the AG might kick off with the King standing like because it's got a moody bass line in it. You had to really think about what you were playing. Like you couldn't just play anything. Yeah, you know, you had to like think what's it going to do to the mood in the room. Like it's mad, you know.
I'm so glad that I got to catch a little bit of that scene before it kind of died off, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
Because for me, some of the most nostalgic times of my life is when I think about Speed Garage, Bassline, Hidden, Moon Lounge, and all these places. Yeah. Now, I remembered the question I wanted to ask you now. I stopped DJing Bassline and Speed Garage, and then years and years later, I started DJing hip hop.
Yeah.
And played everywhere with that, including Bamboo.
Right.
You familiar with Bamboo?
Yeah. Well, I'll let you say what you got to say, and I'll tell you a little bit about Bamboo.
Oh, right. Wow. Okay. So what I wanted to ask you, because you're going to know this more than me, is Hidden and Moon Lounge the same venue as Bamboo?
It was owned by the same people. You could access... no, you couldn't access... You used to be able to access Bamboo through the staircase of...
So Bamboo Hidden was there when Hidden and Moon Lounge was there?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes.
So I always thought, DJing in Bamboo years later, that it was the same room as Hidden, but reformatted. But then when I was younger, I remember climbing 100 stairs to get to Hidden.
Yeah.
So I thought, no, it can't be.
Floor,
and I've always wondered, and I thought I'd ask you that today because I didn't know.
Nah, so Rue J used to, at the time, he used to promote Bamboo and do his, his funky house nights and stuff. And we were the chavs that were basically sandwiching him. So he had a shit sandwich, basically, because we were the chavs either side, and then he was in the middle, like, trying to run this really cool night, like. But, yeah, it was actually a separate thing, but it was owned by the same guy. He owned Hidden, Moon Lounge and Bamboo.
So I didn't know Bamboo was a thing back then. I just remember Hidden the Moon Lounge.
Yeah, because we were chavs, weren't we?
Yeah.
We weren't into funky house and we weren't into funky house and cool stuff. So going back to the Bamboo conversation, when I was doing, I don't know if you've seen the 25 years video that I've done where I've walked around some certain venues. I've gone to like where Premonition
I have.
once stood, and but the front door was open to Bamboo, but it was all derelict and blah blah blah. It was like brick dust and God knows what on the staircase. So I said to my mate, I said, come on, let's have a look inside because the door's open. Doing a bit of a Mr. Airborne like. So I've gone up.
We're going to get onto him.
I've gone up the stairs and they literally gutted the whole thing. It was back to...
How long ago was this?
About 4 weeks ago. Literally back to the brick.
The whole scene around the Arcadian seems to have died. Like when we was DJing, probably how long ago? Probably 4 or 5 years.
We sort of stopped after COVID.
Yeah.
What, DJing?
Yeah. So Arcadian was absolutely buzzing. There was 7 or 8 nightclubs that were sold out.
Oh, brilliant, wasn't it?
Every
Arcadian
week, 3 nights a week.
Amazing.
And now it's like a ghost town now.
Yeah, it got quite moody down there, I was told.
Oh, yeah, very moody.
Yeah, because I used to DJ at Arcadian when Arcadian was like cool. Like, you know what I mean? It's when I started to get into the funky house, Rouge used to run Arca Bar. And I always remember the DJ booth being under the staircase to go upstairs. And I remember playing, oh God, what's it called? It'll come back to me. It'll come back. Anyway, I just remember playing funky house and it was popping in there, popping. You know what I mean? Like everyone dressed nice and blah, blah, blah. I thought, yeah, man, this is me. This is where I want to be now. But yeah, that soon faded out and it became electro, and I was ended up back in Subway DJing dirty after clubs again. Yeah. So it didn't last long.
Oh man, Subway City had some times in there as well.
Yeah, man.
So going forward through the years now of when Speed Garage and Bassline House was the absolute thing, everyone loved it. It was everywhere. You couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it seemed to die down.
Yeah.
And we're going way before COVID here, so it's nothing to do with
way
that.
before, yeah.
Why do you think that happened?
Well, I've got my version on it, and the reason why I kind of walked away from Bassline House, not Speaker, Bassline House, because there was a lot of people making it, but it was unvetted. There was no quality control with it, and a lot of it was out of key. It's just vocals were terrible. Choice of vocals were being used. And it just becomes something that I thought was not very credible anymore. And for me, even music now that's, people send me promos and I listen to it and I'll be like, it's good, but it's not there. I ain't been a diva, but it ain't good enough for me to play.
You're right to be a diva.
No, I'm not a diva. You just, when you just got your own quality control about how you want to sound when you play out. There's a lot of stuff that I get sent, but it's good, but it's not
there.
You know what I mean?
If you go back years and years, we'd spend so much time on one production or on one mix or on one set. And now it's just like everyone's just making, bouncing and throwing.
It's disposable, isn't it?
Yeah,
because it's
that's
digital.
The word, so disposable.
Yeah.
And if that one don't hit it, or it'll make another one.
Yeah.
Whereas before, we cared about the music a lot more. That's how I feel anyway.
Well, before we'd press it to vinyl, wouldn't we? You would make the track, you'd send it off for mastering, it'd come back, you'd then send it to the pressing plant, vinyl pressing plant. That would take, good few weeks to come back. You'd have to get the artwork for the circulars in the middle. That would all come. It's like a month's process to get that record out. Then you've got to get it to distributor. Then it's got to get out. Then it's got to sell. So there's a lot of you can make a tune like that and now just stick it on your Facebook, SoundCloud for free download. It's just disposable. And this is why there's no quality control, because there's unless you're getting signed to a label that has got an A&R on it, there's no quality control. There's no one to say whether that's right or that needs tweaking or that key's not right or that vocal needs pitching or you know what I mean. There's no one to tell you that, because now you can just whack it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that's where it's at for me.
Let's talk about record labels.
Okay.
Seen a post on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I want you to tell us what that deal is and break it down. What's the singles out now?
Yeah, the singles out now. Yeah, singles out now.
Out now.
Yeah,
not
out
now,
now.
but by the time you're watching this, it's out now.
So obviously, my life could be in a completely different position when we recorded this to this point. Now we will see. Hopefully, dear God. But
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. So I made a track in 2000. Oh, well, I went to Made Festival. I was playing at Made Festival, and at the end of my set, we went to watch Eats Everything in the one of the arenas. It was the closing set, and stood behind him, and so backstage wristbands, obviously, and stood behind him, and he played a tune called Pawn Kings Up to No Good, and I was like, this tune's sick. I just so remember this tune. I think I've got it on vinyl at home. Anyway, I was like, this is sick. This tune's sick. I said, I need to do like a pumping house organ mix of this track. Anyway, so I just made this bootleg, this up to no good thing. But I didn't get the vocal from the original Pawn Kings. I went on the internet, found out where they'd sampled it from, went to that, got my mate to take the vocal. You know, you can do vocal separation now, can't you? It's got him to take the vocal off for me, so I had a clean a cappella of this Houdini track, which is a 1983 hip-hop track, where they sampled it from. Just grabbed the 9-second hook off it, pitched it up, and remade the track, but in my Joe Hunt vibe, like give it to Interplanetary Criminal, like badgered him, like he ended up responding. I was like, yeah, I'll listen to this track. He's played it out for me, and it just went off. The tune just went off. The reaction of the crowd. He played at a place in Ireland called AVA Festival, and it was like a 360-degree DJ booth, and he had thousands of people around him. He played, it dropped, and he just went like, whoa, like it just went off. He's wrong, man. He's gone, oh, mate, he says, that tune. He says, wait till you see this video. He says, I want to sign it. I was like, no way, because Interplanetary Criminal, you know who he is. He made Baddest of Them All with Eliza Rose.
Yep.
He kind of opened the doors up to Organ House, and, you know, a couple of years ago, and it was like a summer anthem of, I don't know, 2022, I think it was.
Yeah, roundabout.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's obviously big time. And he was like, I want to sign it to my label. I was like, wicked, cool. So I've gone, all right, cool. So I gave him the track in August 2022, and he said, obviously, he wanted to sign it. So obviously, the months went on, and he was saying, I really, we're striking a deal with Sony. They're going to co-own my label, ATW Records. It's going to be worth your while. Just hang in there. I was like, okay, because I was getting offers from little like Diddy labels and that saying, yeah, we want to sign it. It was kind of, it would have been like a sale and return type deal where, you get nothing basically.
Yeah, pointless.
You get zero. He was like, just hang in there. Anyway, he rang me, he went, yep, the deal's sorted with Sony now. We're going to go ahead with the deal. He says, get yourself a solicitor. His record label manager said, get yourself a solicitor and get yourself a manager, because obviously you're going to need them to look over the paperwork and stuff. And, your manager needs to manage the deal. It's like, cool. So got myself a manager, got myself a solicitor. And my manager was like, come on board. He's seen the videos, blah, blah, blah. He was like, this tune's going to be massive. This tune's going to be freaking massive, like. So he has friends in Colombia, like A&R, like head of A&R in Colombia. He showed them the track. They're like, wow, this tune, we want this tune. But because obviously, basically, Interplanetary Criminal basically gave birth to this tune. Like it, like I'm one of these people that are loyal. You know what I mean? Like I will not shit on you. Like if we're working together, we'll not shit on you. You know what I mean? I've seen so many inhumane moves over the years that I'm a real human being. I've got morals. You know what I mean? So even Interplanetary Criminal says to, anyway. So my manager's gone right. I've sorted it with Colombia. They want to sign it. I was like, well, I want to sign with Interplanetary Criminal, and he was like, well, hold on a second. Columbia, Sony own his label, so why don't we try and sort something out where they're all involved? And I was like, if you can make it happen. So they had this Zoom call, and they were all like, yep, bang, it's rung me back on, yep, they all want to be on in it. It's going to be a collaboration, because my Interplanetary Criminal said to me, when he originally rung me and said, oh, we've got Sony on board, they've took over my label. It's only an offshoot label, by the way. His would have been, so the deal wouldn't have been. It was good. It was good for the best I've ever seen. You know what I mean? In my career, but obviously, like what Columbia could offer is a complete different level. He said, we hope if it does enough sales that Columbia will come on board and upstream it. If we do enough sales, they will come in and upstream it. But because my manager got them involved, got them all talking, and now it's a collaboration, they're already going to upstream it. My marketing manager's Calvin Harris's marketing manager on this record. That's how big they perceive it to be.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's out this Friday. So just from going,
It's out now.
yeah, it's out now. Yeah, so just from going to this, this festival and watching Eats Everything and having this idea, it's just gone into this mad snowball thing that we could be in the position when this comes out of me being very excited.
I'm sure you already are.
I'm really excited. Do you know what? Honestly,
I'm glad I got you now. You might have been unreachable next week.
do you know what? I'm one of them people though. Like I say, I don't count my chickens till they've hatched.
Yeah.
Anything can happen from now till Friday. I mean, obviously the deal's done, signed, it's coming out, it's been ingested into the system, it's coming out. You know what I mean? We've got pre-saves on it already, or we had pre-saves on it already for the nature of the video. So it's 100% coming, but I still have in my mind, I don't know what's going to come. I'm really anxious about what might happen. You know, like I can't see. You know, I look at like artists like, well, let's just pluck one out the sky.
Nathan Dorr.
Yeah. Like I was speaking to Nathan Dorr during lockdown, and he was just coming, just starting to break through as like a big artist. And like when I look at him, I think like that actually potentially could be me in like 2 years. Like if this record goes, like it just takes one record.
One.
That's all it takes is one record.
I bet you're like a kid at Christmas waiting for this to come out.
Mate, I just don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's the word apprehensive. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know what's going to come. Like I don't know what's around the corner. It's literally 48 hours away.
Well,
like
you think your life's busy now? You better,
like 48 hours away. Like we're talking past tense here. 48 hours away. Like my whole life's going to potentially change. Like it's mad. It's mad to think. Like
excited.
Really excited, but I'm nervous. Excited as well.
What are you nervous about?
I'm nervous about getting booked for a big festival, and that. I get booked for festivals.
I was going to say you're doing them anyway.
I do festivals all day long, but just like going to a festival where I don't know, 20,000 people there for me, or 10,000 people there for me. Because I go to a festival now, there's probably 500 to 1,000 in the crowd for me now, but like it's on a whole different scale. Like I go to. You know, I might be playing at IB, let's just say, IB for Rocks, and it's Joe Hunt's headline on a Tuesday. That's just surreal. It's like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen to me, but they're like the things that happen to people that have successful records.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's what's going to happen.
Well,
you just don't want to say it because it hasn't happened yet. But that's exactly what's going to happen because that's how it works.
Yeah. So,
exciting times.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
It is,
But it's not like you haven't got the experience. You've been doing this for so long now. I feel like if you walked out to a crowd of 10K, 20K, you're going to be the same guy with the same energy and play the same set.
Yeah, I'd literally be shaking, like, backstage, like I do now.
I was going to say, do you still get nervous?
I get nervous. Like, honestly, I'm in the toilet. I have every illness going before I go on. Like, and I can't do it. I've got belly ache and that. And then as soon as I'm like, right, Joe, you're on, I'm like, okay, cool. So I get out there, plug my USB in, and then like giving the mic, cordless mic, and that's it. Bang, belly's gone. Sound, I'm in the game. Like, bang.
Yeah.
As soon as I press play, I'm a different human being. Like, I'm like on it. Like,
it's always the thought of something that's worse than actually doing it.
That's what it is. And do you know what it is? Because of like these big stages and stuff now, it's more. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I think, what if I fail? That's what goes through my head before I go on. What if they don't like me? What if I play shit? You know, and what if I get booed? What if I, you know what I mean? It's all like what ifs. But when I do it, it's like, oh, you fucked that up, you know. You fucking smashed it. Like.
It's mad to think you still think like that after 25 years of success.
I think the bigger the stage gets, it's saying that's a bloody lie because I played at Rosie's reunion, and there's probably 300 people in there. And I was literally throwing up in a pint glass at the back. up through nerves. I hadn't drunk, just thrown up in a pint glass because I was just nervous about going on because I knew people were there to see me, and I was scared of letting them down, not playing my best set ever.
Would you say you suffer with anxiety?
Not normally, no. Only when I'm go to DJ. But like like back in the day, in the Bassline days, like with the vinyls and stuff, it was just second. I didn't care. Like it was just like, don't know. Maybe I had a bit of arrogance about me then. Don't know. But
maybe
now,
you're just a perfectionist and you want to get everything right all the time.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's exactly what.
But that creates greatness. Do you quality control where you play now? Like, do you kind of pick and choose, and are you selective with the bookings that you take, or
yes.
Chess moves. Back to what I was saying earlier on.
Yeah.
I think it's a game of chess now. You have to be very careful.
But I remember my friend saying to me back in the Bassline days, you're diluting yourself. You play like 3-4 sets every weekend, and you're not making yourself exclusive enough for people to buy tickets to come and see you because they know they can get you there. They know they can go and watch you there or there. So I always remember him saying that these major labels, they're devil, and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. Load of rubbish.
Load of bollocks.
They're fantastic people. You meet them and, they're so welcoming, it's really nice. And
everyone's got something negative to say when it doesn't play in their favour.
Yeah, but
unfortunately, that's business. That's how it works. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, as Rocky said. So
yeah.
What is your ambition? Like, where do you want to take this now? Because I'm guessing that you was, like you said, you was happy where you was, and now this major things happen that's going to shift your whole life. Have you thought about after that? Like, what's your ambition going forward?
Don't know. She wants a bigger house.
Don't we all? Get me one when you get there, will you?
Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going to come. I don't know. I don't know.
Just here for the ride.
It could it could fall on its arse. I don't know. It's not going to fall on its arse. I know it ain't. I've got this feeling in my soul that it's not going to fall on its arse. But again, I don't count my chickens till they've hatched, so I don't know what's going to happen. It's really, really difficult to, I know I'm going to tackle it when it happens. I'll deal with it, and I'll deal with it, 110%. But until it happens, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how to deal with it. It's mixed emotions, man.
You've been doing a few things with our mate Mr. Airborne, haven't you? I've seen a few videos that you've been doing with him.
So he took me to. I was like, I was really intrigued by what he's doing. I was like,
it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So interesting.
Oh, mate. But you know what?
Got you sneaking into bamboo.
It's got
you sneaking into bamboo.
Yeah. So he just took me to this derelict office block, which had been used previous by like ITV for some old detective thing. It was literally falling to pieces. It was like water was dripping through the seat. It was horrible. But it was like literally like you turn the light, you turn your torch off, you can't see your hand in front of your face, like. And he took me to this, and anyway, it was just creaking about. I think we did that one first. I was literally shitting myself in there, and then he took me to this office block. He's like, yeah, we'll go to this derelict office block. Gone in there, and like the front door was off, and like, trust me, mate, it was like 24
Sounds like the pirate radio.
Yeah, mate, it was like massive. It was like a big L-shaped office block, and this little turnstile kind of door. The glass was through, and it was pitch black in there. It was like on the evening, and he was like, come on, we'll go in there. I was like, I ain't going in there. Anyway, we've gone through the front door, and it's like... it's like a lift lobby, so it's like a proper office box. You got 3 lifts that side, 3 lifts that side. Proper off. You can imagine how big this building is with 6 lifts. You know what I mean? So we're walking along, and he's fucking turned the torch off on me. So I was like, "Don't leave me! Don't leave me! Don't leave me! Don't leave me!" And he's cool. He's
gonna fucking love this.
He's got it all on camera, and then everyone's taking the piss out of me. And now it's just a thing like, "Don't leave me! Don't leave me! Don't leave me!" It's just a thing he comes up with now.
For those who are watching this thinking, what are they on about? Mr. Airborne's an urban explorer and an absolute nutter. I've got a podcast with him on this channel if you want to go and watch that, because there's some seriously weird things that he gets up to.
Mate, he like...
You two are like buddies now, and I see you out with him all the time.
Yeah, he's just got
you're just turning just as tapped as he is.
He's got one of them... what's the...
I call them jetpacks.
What's that?
You on about the flying thing?
No, his personality, it's...
infectious?
That's the word. He's got an infectious personality. Yeah. And people say that about me. Like, a lot of people said it when I was, infectious. But I just think it's just like, like a lot of people when I've met over the years, they've got a... even if they haven't got a platform, they've got an ulterior motive to be my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Tom's come along. He's got his own platform. He's doing really well himself. I think I'm doing okay. So, when we met, he wanted for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when I met Sam, my missus, like, she wanted for nothing. Like, I love that in people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're not there to skank me or...
Can I have this? Can I have that?
Or, they haven't got an ulterior motive. So me and him are just, got on really well. He, like, really supports me, shares my stuff on his... He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, most people would be like, I don't want that guy to grow. I don't need to be like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People like to see people do well, but not better than them. You know what I mean? But, we are in different fields of what we do. And I think that really works because, he's, like I say, he's really supportive. Like, he's a good guy, man. He'll do anything for anyone.
I can relate to that. The first time I met him was actually up here probably 5-6 years ago. And we just clicked straight away and became friends ever since. Sometimes I'll check in with him and I've been busy, or he'll do the same with me. And he always says to me, don't worry about it, mate. When we all take over the world, we'll come together at some point.
Exactly,
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Anything you want to finish up on?
No, not really. Just a bit of advice, really. If anyone's getting into the music game, like, just never give up, because I've had points in my career and my music in the industry, like, where I thought, you know what, I've had enough now. This is it. But and my other bit of advice is to have someone behind you that supports you, that wants you to succeed. Because as soon as you give up, you need that person behind you to stop you from giving up, which is what my wife always does to me. And, just never give up and have someone, a good person behind you that's, doesn't want you to give up and believes in your dreams.
Good advice. Joe, you're an absolute legend, mate.
Thank you.
For as long as I can remember, I've saw you headlining flyers and wanted to be you when I was that little Bassline DJ.
Yeah.
Congratulations on getting your single signed by 4 different record labels as your first single. That's amazing.
Yeah. Nice
and
one.
You're recently married, so congratulations again.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
And thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
Really
and
appreciate it.
If this should blow up,
when?
And
say when.
When? Again, it's my. You have to come on one of the shows.
100%, I'd love to.
Come on stage with us, like.
I'd love to.
And get some footage.
We'll get there. Yeah, brilliant.
Excellent.
Thank you very much,
nice
Joe.
one. Cheers.
You've been watching Convos with Curtis, and we'll see you all again soon.
Thank you very much.